Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a series where I analyze my matches and I go into detail to show you a different way to play with Leo. Because a lot of players will have you believe that Leo is a rush down character, which is not the case. It's not too many, matchups that he can actually rush down. And this is going to be even more evident because I chose to deliberately play my opponent badly to show you how it leaves you at a disadvantage. And then I rematched him, playing him, changing one or two, three things just to show you how it went from making my opponent look godlike to what do I do next? So, but before we get into the video, I actually wanted to start a new series on this channel where I analyze the viewers' matches, and I need your help to do that. So if you want to be featured on this channel, just go to the link in the description. You can find where to send me the videos. If you want to remain confidential, I will respect that. So you don't even have to worry about it. It really doesn't matter the skill level. That's not the goal of the video. Is to show you what can you be doing to approve your Leo, or what you're doing right. So skill level does not matter. If you want to remain confidential, that's fine. If you wanted to shout out, because I know it's other content creators, this will be a good way to showcase how good you are. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so this is the first match. I'm not going to say too much because, like I said, I don't believe you should play like this. This is just for educational purposes. I am intentionally rushing down my opponent, putting myself essentially at a disadvantage. Nice safe jump. I still can't believe that picked me up off the ground though. Nice. My opponent is baiting everything out. Now that mix, that actually got me. that definitely got me. I thought she was gonna go up high again. She threw the wrong yo-yo. She should have used the one that was closer to the ground. Nice, my opponent getting the grab in. This is why it's key to play more patient. This is why it's the key to play more patient. Nice. And my opponent punished the defensive stance. My opponent is just he's playing really solid right now. Going out there 2S. See, this is the advantage that Bridget has in this matchup, is that her range buttons can stop you from trying to rush down. Mainly her 5H and her 2S. That is her greatest strength in this matchup. God damn. Boy, look at that defense. Look at that defense. I wanted her to use DP, but she didn't want to give it to me. Why didn't I cross up? What? That's supposed to cross up. Now it's weird. I wasn't trying to win the match, but sometimes rush down just it works. Sometimes it's not the most optimal way to play though. Surprisingly, I won this set against my opponent, but that's not how I would actually play the matchup. It's actually strange. That's strange. I'm doing some stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be rushing in. Like, I don't know why. I guess my habits are. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to be doing that stuff. That's actually for. I'm supposed to save that for the rematch. Okay, there we go. Get back to rushing. Mix. See, now I'm irritated because I'm doing some stuff that I was supposed to show later. For this set, I wasn't supposed to play. I'm doing some stuff that I'm not supposed to be doing at this section. So. But like I said, rushing down could just be beneficial too. It's just I don't think this is the optimal way to play. As you can see, it's some parts where I just struggle to get in. Bro, you gotta watch your ankles. There's no reason you should be getting drop kicked on your ankles like that. And this is where you don't want to be in the corner. You don't want to be in the corner with Bridget mix because there's not really too much stuff you can do except just block and pray that you can make it out of this alive. She keep doing her freaking jump S that high in the air. This is very punishable. Don't know what mix that was. Then block the cross up. I know there's not too many people could predict the cross up in the corner. But yeah, that was the last of the matches where I was kind of playing rush down because at the end I started breaking my own rules. So we're gonna hop in how you supposed to play the matchup. Now, right off the bat, I could tell you, it's just not good to fight Bridget head up. Like, I'm gonna sound like a broken record in these videos, but patience is the key. Like I said, it's not too many characters that Leo could legitimately just rush down with no consequences. There are consequences to rushing in. Like I said, her greatest strength in this matchup is her 5H and her 2S. Her 2S just beats your defensive stance. But I'm gonna show you how to circumvent that. Her 5H considerable range, but it has increased recovery, which I'm going to expand further on in the training mode. That's why missing 5H is very good. It baits out people's DPs, as you see. I talk about this in my guide, how I just find the defensive stance to be so valuable. It's just so valuable. And then I went for a command grab setup just in case she did her DP. But she didn't. She just got hit by it. You see how we was playing patient? We was playing patient, so she got clipped by the max range of 5H, mainly because she's trying to fight long range. I'm not trying to fight long range. I'm trying to fight where she's going, and this is a common problem with characters that got longer range normals than you. They make that mistake. Not properly gauging your opponent's range could cause you to get hit. So she was overextending herself instead of just playing the neutral, which this neutral has like an extended space. So like usually it'd be more closer if it was like Kai or Leo, but because Bridget has that max range and I have that max range, the neutral is actually pretty much like almost like full screen, because you're attacking where she's going, not where she's at. Because if you try to attack where she at, you're gonna end up doing what she did, which is basically coming into her range, trying to throw out a button, and you'll get clipped with her 5H, and now you got counter hit it. So that's basically what I was doing. I wasn't overextending myself. We're gonna hop into the second match. All right, here goes the other weakness of 5H that I wanted to mention. So like I said, the 5H has a huge whiff recovery. You don't necessarily need to be up close to her to get the whiff punish. As you can see how far away she was that I got the punish, is because she has the same problem that Leo has. His hurt box is throughout the whole extension of the hitbox. So if she just whiffs right in your face, you got enough time to just throw out 5H and get the punish. And then you're going to see me doing that a lot in this matchup. Oh, I didn't get the bounce. Must have did it too slow. Break the wall. Alright, and another tip, right? Never fight inside the range of the yo-yo. Always fight outside the range of the yo-yo. This just makes you less susceptible to certain setups, especially if she has to run past the yo-yo to get to you. She no longer has her mix-ups with the Rolling Thunder. So as you're going to notice, I always fight outside of the yo-yo. Now I actually tried to let go of defensive stance and prepare myself to do a DP, but she kind of just beat me to it. Okay, yeah, and I tried to get her to try to bait out the burst, but she didn't bite. Why you back there, Shin? Like I said, fight outside the yo-yo. I think my opponent is getting frustrated, so this is what I was talking about. How just playing the matchup differently, you're gonna notice two different parallels. Now we were more patient this go around. And you're going to notice that now my opponent is chasing me. The first set, I was chasing my opponent. She wasn't eager to get close to me. Now, I think my opponent is getting frustrated, and now she just the roles flip. Now she's trying to figure out how to get in instead of keeping me out. And now this is where this will allow you to rush down better, because now she's going to start making all these mistakes. Ordinarily, I wouldn't break the wall. I thought that was going to kill. It just didn't kill. You're not baiting me out, lady. Now, I noticed that I was getting pushed back close to the wall. The only reason I did the S projectile is because I kind of had to push back. If she would have got me trapped in the corner, it could have been a bad story. Never give up so much space to where you're now put in the corner. If you're getting close to the corner, fight back, push back in some type of capacity. And that was the most safest way I could push back without overextending myself. All right, now we in the last match. Okay, right there. It's a reason why, like I said, you pretty much gotta be a scumbag in this match. I'm basically, and like if you want to say like if you was playing Call of Duty, I'm camping her out. I'm camping her out with the defensive stance. For two reasons. I have to protect myself from the 5H. And I also want to draw her in closer to use her 2S. I'm almost, like I said, I'm almost inviting her to look at my ankles and trying to entice her to attack the ankles, so then I can then punish her for trying to attack my ankles. You could draw your opponent in camping her out basically with the defensive stance, and once you see your opponent like start to run to this middle section, almost, I don't know, you can't see my arrow, but almost when you like the opponent start to run to the tip of your 5H, that's when you could stop doing the defensive stance, because you just want to draw her in closer. You don't actually want her to get so close to where she can now hit you with the 2S. See? And then I covered myself because she stopped. She backed up. And I covered myself by going to the defensive stance, because if I would have whiffed and she could have threw a 5H out, I could have got the punish. So never let her get in that range of using 2S. And then I tried to punish the 5H with the defensive stance attack because she threw it out. See, trying to use that 2S. Now it almost looked like my opponent don't know what to do in this matchup. Always give a little space. Always, when you're in defensive stance, always moving backwards. This makes it harder, one, for your opponent to gauge the max range of whatever attack they're trying to use. You could cause your opponent to whiff, because I think Leo moves faster in his defensive stance. So if she was trying to run up doing 2S or command grab, she could whiff her buttons pretty easily, because Leo just moves back super fast. And, you know, that's what I like about the update, that one patch where they increased the speed. It made it way more valuable. Opened her up with the stagger. She's trying to get close to use that 2S. We won't let her. And then we got her with the dust setup. And that was pretty much it. So we're going to hop into training mode, and I'm going to just reinforce some of the ideas that I spoke about in this match. So I'm going to see you over there. Okay, so we actually in the training room right now. I'm going to be expanding on several tips that you can actually use in this matchup. Some stuff I already said, I'm gonna just go into detail, and then some stuff I couldn't show you in the match because my opponent didn't necessarily do it the way I wanted her to do it, but we still gonna show you what you could do in this matchup in case you get it in yourself. First, I want to talk about her weaknesses, which is odd, because in this matchup is her greatest strength, because she has these long range normals. She can easily keep Leo out. But like I said in the matchup, we don't want to get in. We don't want that. We don't want to get in. We're not in a rush to try to rush her down. That's not what we do here. So what we do is we turn her greatest strength in keeping us out to her main weakness. Because her 5H and her 2S, it has considerable recovery. Basically it makes it easier to whiff punish, so it leaves her hurt box out on her 5H pretty long, And that's what you're gonna see me like when I was in the match. That's what you see me do. I was just trying to punish her 5H the whole time. So she's busy trying to fight at max range. I'm constantly just trying to stay out of her max range. So this is where my opponent was fucking up at. You in this matchup, you can't fight max range. Not with these two characters. With probably like Naga Ryuki or something, but not with these two characters, because I'm constantly just trying to control the space. If I give up too much space, like if I'm getting closer to the corner, then yeah, I gotta go in. I gotta get that space back. But if I still got some decent space behind me, use it. There's no reason to try to fight her up close. And half of the time, my opponent just kind of backed up and gave me my space back, which she shouldn't do. You always, when you try to get in, don't just stop trying to get in. You should try to push your opponent back to the corner. That's where my opponent was making a couple mistakes at. When it comes to her 2S, it really counters his defensive stance. So you gotta be careful when you're in defensive stance, because her 2S is a low. The good thing about her low is, like I said, it has huge whiff recovery. So if you're constantly using your space, constantly just playing the neutral to use her space, you always want to draw her in. That's why I camped her, the opponent, with the defensive stance, because I wanted her to try to come into a certain range. So the 2S, you could just whiff punish it. So let me turn it back to a computer. So if your opponent is very quick to just throw that button out, not really trying to use it strategically, that is actually your moment to try to come in and get the whip punish. Another thing is, pretty much in this matchup, you never want to attack first. That's one thing. You never want to attack first unless you're trying to attack that middle space between y'all. Like right here is where you should be trying to attack. Because at that point, if you're frustrating her and you're drawing her in with the defensive stance, you should be trying to feint and then go into 5H. Because what happened in the match, my opponent kept trying to run up 2S, and I would just draw him in with the defensive stance. You notice Leo could control space with this a lot, because I think his back step is actually faster. Him walking backwards is actually faster in defensive stance than it is normally. So you could control the space and you could kind of draw your opponent in to kind of whiff in their attacks, and this could throw your opponent off. So if you try to draw them in and then you come back with 5H, and that's pretty much what you want to do in this matchup. Kind of just want to draw them in, come back, and then hit them with 5H. And you're going to be sure to hit the opponent with a lot of 5H counters, because one, they can't use their 5H, and they can't use 5S, so they need to get in and try to use 2S. But at that point, that move is slow, and it has huge whiff recovery. So if you're controlling the space behind you, it'll be easy to whiff punish her, because she can't get too close. If you're feigning and you're coming back with 5H, what's going to end up happening is that she's going to try to come in and she's going to get hit with a counter hit. It's just what it is. And that's pretty much the only time you want to attack first, is when you actually drawing the opponent in. What else? And basically another benefit to defensive stance, when you're trying to draw them in, it's way harder for Bridget to whiff punish you than it is for you to whiff punish her. Because if you whiff your 5H and she tries to punish that, what's going to end up happening is, let me turn my controller on. What's going to end up happening is that you're going to go into your defensive stance. Back up. You're going to go into your defensive stance, and then she's going to do that, and then you're going to punish her. So it's actually pretty cool for you to just sometimes throw out the 5H in the neutral, just because you had defensive stance. But never when she's this close. Never when she's this close. It's only okay when you're throwing out 5H in this spot right here. Literally. Because if you try to throw out right here, she's going to run up dash 2S real quick, and you're not going to be able to respond fast enough. God damn, with this negative penalty shit. Yeah, so that's basically how you want to use, how you want to play the space in this matchup. One other thing. Always fight outside the yo-yo. Never fight inside her yo-yo. This could lead you to some gimmicks on your opponent. They always want to fight inside the yo-yo, trying to get the yo-yo to hit you so they could get in for free. Always fight outside the yo-yo. Camp them with defensive stance. Defensive stance is very good in this matchup. Like I've been advocating in my guide, defensive stance has been coming, like it's been really a core part of my game plan lately, even more than back turn stance. So I've really valued the defensive stance in this game. Because with that speed boost, when they did the patch where he walks faster, it became really good. I'm not gonna lie, it became really good. And you should probably strive to, no pun intended, you should probably strive to put it in your game plan when you're fighting these characters. And one more final thing, when you have meter, that's when you can start activating your S projectile. Normally I wouldn't do it in the matchup because some person could just jump over and get a counter hit on you, but when you have meter, that is good because you can always keep yourself safe if they jump over the S projectile. Don't spam it, because then you're gonna have the opponent catch on to what you're doing, and that's not what you want to do. I would kind of like just do a mix of missing the 5H and then projectile. So you could actually do something like this in the matchup. So you could do this projectile and then that. So stuff like that could just really trip up your opponent. And it helps you fight the matchup better because now you actually have a tool that you can actually use to outrange her. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like when it comes to the tips I got to give you. Yeah, because this right here is just very helpful. This is so you could keep safe. If they do try to jump in at you, you can actually just catch them off guard, because they'll try to take your guard, and then you get a punish off of it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up because it's not too much, else in the matchup that you need to know. That's pretty much it. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna end it here. Let me know what y'all thought about the video in the comments. If it's any concerns, questions, just leave them down below. I'm doing these analysis matches in the order that I'll see them. So the previous video, somebody said Bridget. In this video, the next two people said Geo and Geo or Anji. So I know the person commented Geo first, so I'm probably going to do Geo then Anji. And if you have a character that you want to see, kind of move along, just leave it in the comments below and I'm gonna get to it. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.